Rakim Sekou to talk about the relationship reset. How you doing, Rakim?
Peace and blessings to all the people. What's happening?
What's happening?
What's going on?
What's happening? Gotta put some entry music in.
Yeah, put a little.
Like that. Hey.
There we go.
Hey.
Get the vibes flowing up in this mouth.
Getting the vibes together. It is a snow preparation night here. Saturday on the East Coast. Everyone has bought out the grocery stores and they in the house waiting for the snow.
Waiting for the snow. Yeah, they're down here panicking down here in Texas.
What'd you say?
So they're down here panicking down here in Texas.
Panicking in full effect. But
Yep.
You know what? You don't gotta panic. There's no need to panic. We're just gonna take this as a rest time. Take it as a sacred rest time and use this as a time to talk about the relationship reset. What we have coming up in February, Valentine's weekend, yes.
Black Love Weekend.
Black love, grounded love.
Grounded love.
Love weekend.
Love.
Yes, I love love. So, beloveds, thank you for watching us live. Thank you if you see any of the clips or if you see any of the recordings. We're happy that you're taking the time to spend with us. If you guys are home, snuggled up in your warm and fuzzies, we're talking about the Relationship Reset Weekend that's coming up, Valentine's weekend in February 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's actually 2.5 days. It's a retreat.
Retreat in the D.C., Maryland area.
In the D.C., Maryland area.
That's right. That's right.
And actually, the Maryland side.
Yeah, on the Maryland side, but.
The Maryland side.
Yeah.
This is an amazing collaboration between myself and Rakim Sekou, also known as Carl E. Stevens. You all, I always say this when we talk, but I feel like everybody knows you as a seasoned metaphysician, a relationship teacher, and author of many books. Just a brilliant brother. I've always appreciated your intellect and what you brought to this space of relationship and realism. And then you're fun and funny too. So it's not like you're just so highbrow that you can't have no fun. You're a really fun guy, You're a really fun guy. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate this opportunity to work with you in this way and to, move the people forward. Those who want to come and get with this, come on, get in here.
Absolutely.
We're talking about intimacy, communication, relating, learning, open relating, like all the things. Reality TV star. I mean, there's so many things. We could go on and on and on about you. What you want to tell the people about you?
I'm just a fun guy. I'm a nerdy dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm funny too. So if you come to the weekend, I'll nerd out on you a little bit, but we'll have some fun. It's going to be a fun piece.
But you know what? That's what I love about the nerdy part of you is that, and when I think of quote unquote nerds, because I think nerds get a bad rap. I think that's folks that just go in on whatever topic it is. It could be like in high school, it was like Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of thing. But it could be Bagua, it could be metaphysician, it could be Tantra, it could be relationship. It's just like it could be computers, going deep in on a subject, and studying it. And you've done that with relationship, with the female body, with masculine paradigms, feminine paradigms. You've done that in ways that can help people be better humans, be better fathers, be better lovers, be better women. So I appreciate the way you quote unquote nerd out. I think it's cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Adina, you a nerd too in your own right.
Yeah, I've never been called that per se, but I do go deep on stuff. Yes, I also if that's what nerd means in terms of delving into a subject. Yes, and the things that I go deep in on. I go deep. I go hard for the ladies. I realize that I have been in service to the feminine most of my life. With doing natural hair. Like some people know that about me. But that's a piece of me working in someone's crown, and I get to create with her in terms of her beauty and connecting back with, the naturalness of herself and, regenerating herself. And then in dancing my whole life through. I was one of those little girls in tutus back in the day.
Nice.
And, and then, of course, this feminine power work, really getting into the divine feminine in myself and with others. Really, dance was the opening of that for me. I think we shared about that before, but dance took me deeper in that. Because when I dance, I do go into trance. It's sort of like orgasm. You can go into trance, you go into another place, you get into another altered state. And dance opened me up into understanding feminine intelligences and nervous system awareness, and then healing myself through that movement and seeing that journey in other women. So so I nerd out. I go hard for my sisters, but I love my brothers too. It's not like sisters up, brothers down. It's not that at all. It's definitely a balance. Many know me. I'm a mother of 3 grown sons. I just got some granddaughters.
That's what's up.
And how about we could be, these mature ages and still sexy as fuck? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not bullshitting out here. It's about vitality. It's about living life to the fullest. I know when I was a kid, 50 seemed old, but now it's not. Like those folks, they had a different aspect, and of course they had different lives than we have. But when you understand how to activate your body, how to use your orgasm, how to shift that energy in your body, you regenerate. You regenerate.
Absolutely.
So I know you and I are the same age, and you see people in your cohort who are not doing quite as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, no one's gonna.
Need to get in here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just sharing with people that I'm on with you. But no one's gonna call you a nerd because you're a dime piece. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got too much of that sexy going on, so people got to find out you're a nerd through being around you and getting to know you better. So the first thing they see is that you got all the moves.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You got all the sexy popping. You're a little cutie running around DMV.
Yes,
and unless you get a chance to talk with Adina, you know what I'm saying, you won't know how deep she is. That's the thing.
Yes. I'm a perpetual student, Rakim, and that's another reason we go together like we do. Because I'm always reading something, I'm always in a class, I'm always learning, I'm always working on being a better version of myself.
Absolutely.
And that's what people have come to me for, because they, then I share, like you do. You share what, then people are like, what you doing? And I share what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And so that's what we're going to be doing this weekend of, February 13th, 14th, and 15th in the Maryland area, right outside of D.C. We're going to be sharing some of the things that we've learned and mastered over the years. Adina definitely is a master when it comes to, women's empowerment, when it comes to, body movement, when it comes to healing and all those modalities and then some. And so she's going to be there sharing. I'm excited to be able to witness you in action. And I'll be sharing some of the things that I've learned over the years and mastered, around the masculine and feminine, around relationships, around tantra, energy work, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're going to really, come together and do our thing. I'm excited to work with you. It's probably been a long time coming. And, we've talked about this before in different, settings and looking at different things that we could do together. But this is going to be really cool. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really great event.
It is. Let's talk a little bit about female sexual energy and why that's important to cultivate. I know a lot of times people think that even when I say that, it's not just about sex, it's about life force, because we said last time that tantra means to weave.
Mm-hmm.
But when you open a woman and she's open from her heart, and how that affects her womb and her ovaries, it's like it's all connected. But when she's closed at her heart, how that affects her womb and her ovary. Because you're also seeing epidemics of women being, having hysterectomies and having fibroids, endometriosis, and all these female problems, but not understanding how it's connected to the emotion. How it's connected to that energy. I heard a post of yours today, maybe. I don't know if you put it up today, but I heard it today, where you said 70% of women are faking orgasm. I'm like, damn, that's a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's way too much. Like, why are y'all faking it? Like, y'all can never teach them how to do it if you're faking it. Like, what the hell?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just feel like, I agree with you. The, female sexual energy is important. It's key. It's definitely something that I feel that it requires some learning and education. I think too often in society, we just assume certain things are automatic. like, oh, marriage is automatic. I'll be able to get married and manage my marriage and all that. I think I'll be able to manage, being a sexual being on the planet, without any kind of education or studying or whatever. And no, female sexual energy, feminine empowerment is one of those things that it does require, like you were saying earlier, some study, and you have to have some intention around that. You know what I mean? So I feel a lot of, men and women get in trouble because we don't really take the time to master certain aspects of our sexuality. And, it ends up haunting us later in life. It ends up haunting us in our marriage and relationships. We don't learn how to properly deal with that energy and circulate it properly, and it ends up in, illness or, adversely affecting our moods and emotions. And so it's something that, is very important. We like to be intentional, Adina, about, this work, and hey, let's talk about sexuality. Let's look at some techniques around sexuality. Let's look at our energy. Let's take some time to master our energy. It's worthwhile. And so that's why we're doing, an event like this, because we want to help people be able to tap in. We want to share some of the things that we learned. No need to reinvent the wheel. You're going to be working with two people who've, done a lot of work in these particular areas, and who are going to be sharing and facilitating and guiding over the weekend. And so, yeah, we're excited about it. But we're passionate about these topics. We're passionate about these things because, like Adina was saying, she's got 3 sons. I have 2 sons and a daughter. She has 2 granddaughters. And, we want to see the best for our children. We want to see the best for the community as a whole, because we want our sons and daughters and granddaughters and grandsons to be able to marry people who are responsible and who, have some level of emotional balance. And so that's why we do this work, because we realize, we have to put out, energy to the community to receive something back. And, we're looking for our children to be in a better place.
Ashe. So to weave devotion into our daily life, to weave it into our sexuality and spirituality, they're not separate. And
No.
so it connects completely to family. It's not something that's just bedroom, but it's not bedroom. It's how we eat. It's how we move. It's how we speak to each other. It's how we show up in love. I know speaking to each other is really important to me. Like a lot of people now know the 4 love languages, but there are others. But for me, how someone speaks to me, it does either ignite me or turn me off. Being a soldier body, touch is very important. But then the word is also very important. That affirmation helps me heal through, I think, eons of things that my ancestors have gone through, my mom have gone through, my grandmom have gone through, and I know I'm healing through that. And then the affirmation that from a positive healed masculine, positive healed feminine, helps me speak to little Adina in a way that she's like, yeah, girl, we got this, helps
Absolutely.
me show up in love with myself,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's powerful. I think the word is important. Speaking life into yourself, but also having, partners and lovers and mates who also speak life into you. You know what I mean? It's very important. Words have power, and, we want to be in the business of lifting our mates up and lifting the people around us up. And, so I agree with you. Certain words, certain phrases, certain intention around certain words can be very, very much activating and very much healing, and like really help you to endear you to people, and help you elevate your mood and those types of things. So 100% agree about the words, and that's probably something that people should think about. How we use words and what we're saying to the people around us and the people we love, and making sure we're intentional with the words that we're saying. And if we happen to say some things that are hurtful or that are not really uplifting, being willing to come back around and do as much repair as we possibly can and rebalance as we possibly can, whether that's through words or through touch or through gifts or whatever it might be. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Words are very important to me.
What are your top 2 love languages?
Mine are acts of service and touch, and I like those combined, actually.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm physical touch and words of affirmation.
Okay.
So, that's dope. Now, I heard you again, you know, I'm always listening to you online. In another conversation, you were talking about how hurt the masculine has been at the hands or the deeds or the words of the feminine. Because if you think of the destruction of the family and how we're putting our families back together, if the feminine or the mother was upset at the father and then perhaps taking it out on the child, and so now the child is a man and he's still hurting from that. You know, we're talking about healing the feminine, and when you heal the feminine, literally we're healing the family. So if we're healing that energy inside ourselves, we're healing it for our sons, we're healing it for our daughters, we're healing it for the connection. But again, if mama is raging inside, if mama is unfulfilled, if mama is unhappy, if mama is unorgasmic, the whole family's fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a whole lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So how do you see, or you can let the people know how what we're doing this weekend is even addressing some of that. Like, we'll give you tools to actually be able to move through some of those things and put some of those things to rest, you know, actually heal those childhood wounds that maybe mama has, you know, been dealing with and the son or the husband have been dealing with, so that we can get to our orgasmic flow and get to our healing and those things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel part of it is like just awareness, you know, like, are you in your body enough to be able to feel? You know, I have a few male clients I work with, and one of the things I do with them is, you know, just trying to help them realize that, hey, man, some of the things that have been said to you over the years, especially as children, that has a profound impact on you. And like really giving, you know, helping the men give themselves permission to kind of go back and feel that and acknowledge how that felt and those types of things, instead of brushing that over. Because if you're not able, you know, if you're suppressing how you feel, then it's going to affect other areas of your life, like your ability to be orgasmic, your ability to have empathy for others, your ability to enjoy sex and those types of things. So yeah, I think one of the tools is going to be around awareness, and that's why we're going to be doing the energy work. So people have an opportunity to kind of feel back into their bodies. You know what I mean? Like really, and you know, sometimes some of those feelings might not be as comfortable. Other times they're going to be ecstatic and orgasmic, you know, but saying, look, all these feelings, they all count, and it's going to be okay. You know, we're going to allow ourselves to feel, we're going to be back in our bodies, and that's really where you want to be. And then in addition to that, you know, I want to go through some tools, Adina, where we help people learn to rebalance themselves. So like, hey, when you're in your own home and the privacy of your home, there's things that you can do to like really bring that balance back to you, really bring your energy back into equilibrium. We want to teach that as well. So those are some of the things that we're going to do retreat weekend. I'm looking forward to that as well.
Gosh, I know in working with male clients sometimes, or even friends, because of course friends will come to and talk to you since they know you have a body of knowledge, but men can be very uncomfortable with their feeling like, well, I don't want to be crying about that. I was a kid, you know. I don't want to feel that. I should be over that. Like, they're not even giving themselves grace to go through that. It's like, but did you feel it then? You pushed it down then. Mm-hmm. Now you have time and it's bubbling up. It's calling for some attention. It's calling for some acknowledgement, so you can even release it and even access the power of that trigger, you know, whatever that was for.
Yep.
How do you work with brother? You know, I even have some folks who are just like really feeling like they don't love themselves or really feeling anxious, but it's all stemmed out of things from the past. And I think the masculine in particular don't want to feel it, and then the feminine, what I'm hearing from them is the feminine think that she don't have no problems. It's all the fucked up masculine. Like, I'm fine, and it's y'all. It's like, look, and then you said again, you can't be fine if you got a partner who's not fine. Like, y'all are a vibrational match. And that's, again, like, what? It's like, yeah, that's a paradigm shift. What? I'm a match. Yeah, you're a match. So these are some paradigm shifts for folks to get and then be able to move through it, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think part of it's like, we want to empower people to be able to empower themselves, like to heal themselves, to understand what they need to do for themselves, to really bring themselves back into equilibrium and that type of thing. And I think that's one of the biggest things is like, look, it's not really something outside of you. that has control over how you feel or control over your mood or whatever. It's really all inside of you. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a client today, and I was letting her know, like yeah, like a lot of our addictions, are to these like chemicals that we secrete, these hormones and all these things, and we have all these neural pathways and stuff. And I said, we become addicted to those things, and sometimes those things are very painful, where we try to suppress them, and therefore we end up suppressing all the things that were initiating, those particular hormonal secretions and stuff like that. And so that's one way that we end up suppressing a lot of our lives and suppressing a lot of memories and suppressing all the stuff. And, so really it's about giving ourselves permission. It's also about teaching us, how to go about doing that work. And like you said, for the men, like for the men, it's a very interesting path, because a lot of times showing emotion, that would get you to not be chosen by women. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of men also stay away from that standpoint. But letting men look, just being inside, that feeling, that emotion, even temporarily, is going to help you be stronger and help you be able to create the life that you're looking for in the long run. So there's nothing wrong with going into the emotion, going into the feeling, allowing yourself to cry, allowing yourself to feel whatever you're feeling without judgment, and then supporting them through it. And I think another part of Dina, and you can let me know what you think about this, because you have experience with this, but also having community around you to support you with a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you work with sisterhood and women in community a lot, and I think how important that is when you're going through something, to have some folks that you can talk to and lean on.
It's so important. Community has saved my life in so many times. You don't feel so alone. And then when there's someone who has had an experience, that their wisdom can actually be medicine for you as you're finding your way to healing yourself. I love that how we have structured this is giving people the tools to heal themselves. It's not saying you got to go outside for everything. The Western world has taught us you got to go to the doctor for this, you got to go to school for that, you got to go to there. It's like, no, we're teaching each other so that you can have the knowledge and then train your family, train your friend, bring your community along, so that everything is more holistic and healthy and higher vibrating. So yeah, community is my jam,
Absolutely. Jam. Yeah, and with you, I know you've worked with a lot of women, and you've cultivated sisterhood, and like you've seen the power of when women come together and support each other. I think it's just important for men to have brotherhood, coming together as men and supporting each other, and then we all come together as community. And that's kind of the ebbs and flows that we should have within our families and that kind of stuff. So, we're looking forward. Hopefully, during our retreat, Adina, people will feel a sense of community, even in that short time. We want everybody to feel like, look, we're coming together to heal together. We're coming together to experience things. And we're also here to support each other. That's why we're doing it in that format, so that we can really, take time to share. We can really take time, to settle in and not feel rushed, like it's only an hour event or 2 hour event. We got to get out the door, but just relax into, everything that we're doing, giving yourself a little bit of time to process, being able to sleep on stuff, overnight, and just kind of process things. And, we have a lot of sharing activities as well, where we're going to come together, and it's really about sharing. So we'll be sharing, over our meals. We're going to be sharing at different particular times, but that's going to be a very big part of it as well. Question, answer, sharing, support, that whole type of thing. So fostering community at this event for you and I is very important.
Sure. And then it doesn't feel clinical, because it's not. It's about shifting our mood, bringing that creativity back in, and, confidence that kind of stabilizes us to know that. I think people are worried about being weird or feeling like they are different or the odd person out, but really, and then they're tired and exhausted. It's all of these things that can be roadblocks to moving forward and doing this work. But for those who are embracing that love of themselves first, understanding that it's not dysfunction to be where we are, it's just a natural reaction to the systems and the matrix that we've all been in. But the intelligence is coming out, making choices to do something different, and turning our hearts all the way on, so that we can heal this whole body and this whole thing, this relationship, this life with our children, with our mates, and be more magnetic to draw to us the type of life that we want. So I'm excited. You know, I know it's going to be dope, and this is just the beginning for what we are doing together. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know folks probably have some questions about some things. Feel free to reach out to myself or Adina. You can inbox us, you know, through Instagram or any of the social media apps, and we'd love to talk to you about it. We'd love to answer any questions that you have. You can go to the link in my bio, for example, and you can see when you click on the link, like the second link, it'll take you to the event page. You know, Adina's put a ton of work into like really explaining what we're doing and like really describing all the different things that we have set up for everybody for the weekend. So yeah, we want you all to make sure you have your questions answered. If you have questions about things now, feel free to put them in the chat. Either one, we'll try to take a look at those, but you guys are free to reach out to us and ask us any questions. And we're going to be doing multiple events, so I don't want you to feel like, hey, this is the last time Adina and I are coming together. I feel like, you know, our connection is really strong, and, you know, we have the same mission in terms of the kind of work that we want to do together. And so we've already talked about doing multiple events, different kinds of events, you know, hopefully in different parts of the country as well, not just in the DMV. So, yeah, we just want to connect with people, let you guys know that we're out here and that we want to support you all. And not only, you know, doing the healing work, but, you know, helping you understand what some of your options are in terms of attending the events that we have planned.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about that? We do have a new option that we just added.
Absolutely. So, you know, we do have limited space in terms of the actual retreat weekend. So there's only a certain number of people that can actually, you know, stay the night. We want it to be an intimate setting. But also, you know, folks can come in, they can just pay a deposit and hold their spot. So we've got a $250 deposit option on the site, and that holds your spot. And then, you know, as long as you cover the balance, you know, before the actual retreat happens, I think we said the 6th.
February 6th.
Yeah, February 6th. Then, you know, you're all good. So you can put a deposit down, hold your spot. You know, we'll make sure nobody else takes your spot. We'll make sure you have, you know, your bedding and your food stuff taken care of, and make sure you're locked and loaded for the retreat. And then as long as we get the balance in, you're good to go. So that's an option. Or again, as always, you could always pay the whole thing up front in one shot. We're fine with that as well. But yeah, we want to make it easy as possible for people to come and join. And so, like I said, if you guys have additional questions around that, reach out to either one of us, and we want to make sure you understand what's required to get you in the door.
Ashe.
Ashe.
I'm looking forward to this door. This cohort of amazing, sexy people. We're going to have a good time. We're going to move, like Rakim said, we're going to eat. We're going to do a lot of energy work. We're going to heal. We're literally raising the vibration on the planet because we're coming together. And
Absolutely.
we're lending our energy for that purpose.
Absolutely.
So, February 13th, Black Love Day. February 14th, Valentine's Day. February 15th, we're calling Grounded Love Day. Oh, my goodness.
That's right.
It's already a thing. I'm thinking we need to have... we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah,
I have all these ideas, right? I'll talk to you about this next idea that's coming in.
That's cool.
Oh, yes, and we should do this. Oh, this would be amazing. So we're going to have fun. Fun is definitely a part of it, but the healing is there. The juiciness is there. The community is there. The container for our becoming is being held by us, and we're happy to do it.
Absolutely. And I want to, you know, invite people one more time. You know, you want to be around Adina's energy for the weekend. She's this amazing woman. Not only, you know, knowledgeable about the things she's going to talk about and teach, but just really great energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're going to really enjoy being around her. You're going to enjoy, you know, being uplifted by her energy. You know, very intense, very powerful woman, but also very caring and nurturing. So it's a really nice balance. So I really invite people to give themselves the opportunity to be around a woman like her. It'll be well worth it. So I'm honored to work with her, and I think you all are going to enjoy being in her energy as well.
Thank you, my dear brother. I love and appreciate you. Know that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we'll come back soon with another live before we actually launch the event. But again, feel free to reach out to us, either one of us, and we'd love to answer all your questions.
That's it. Relationship update, yo. You see the link? There's also the QR code on the page. You guys can get in here right now. We are ready for you. And we got about 2 weeks, February 13th, 14th, and 15th in Bowie, Maryland. We
All right, you guys. Peace
All
and
right.
blessings
Bye.
to the Oasis. Ah. Choice paradigm. Yeah, so I'll cover that question real quick. Choice paradigm. You know, within our system, we have 5 choices, which are choices that women utilize in order to attract a mate. Oh, I gotta go. Din's calling. I'll talk about it later. Peace.